This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good morning all. Yes, are you hearing my voice? Anybody reply in the chat box? Anybody reply in the chat box? Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, in last class we discussed modification of carrier densities. How we can modify the charge carriers in pure silicon, right? Why? Because at room temperature, the number of available electrons in pure silicon is very less, so that the conductivity also very less. So how to increase the conductivity of a silicon, right? Okay, there are few methods. One method is called the doping method. By adding some other atoms, like phosphorus atom or like boron atoms, we can modify the characteristics of a pure silicon. Now what happen means, by adding some pentavalent impurities, the resultant silicon becomes a n-type semiconductor device. Similarly, by adding a trivalent impurities, the resultant semiconductor becomes a p-type semiconductors. So what is the main difference between n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor? In n-type semiconductor, the majority carriers are electrons, minority carriers are holes. In p-type semiconductor, the majority carriers are holes, minority carriers are electrons. Okay, already we know. That means the current conduction taking place in semiconductor due to both charge carriers, but majority charge carriers is in p-type holes, in n-type electrons. Right. Already we discussed that one also. In any way, whether it is a extrinsic semiconductor or it is an intrinsic semiconductor, mass action law should be satisfied. What mass action law satisfies? Tells that n into p is equal to ni square, where ni square is intrinsic carrier density, right? N into p is equal to ni square. Okay. Now today class, before going to today class, we have to discuss. I give some problem, right? Compared to first problem, second problem, more number of students are responded. Okay, thank you. And coming to the what I asked in group WhatsApp group means, based on your results, give conclusions, right? Most of the students are simply substitute the values, right? Calculated the ni value. Just wait, I observe in my mobile. Yes. Repeat the above problem at the following three different temperatures: 600 Kelvin, 900 Kelvin, and 1200 Kelvin. Okay, most of the problems are simply calculated the Ni at 600 Kelvin and Ni square, and given the doping concentration is 10 power 16 atoms. That is the phosphorus atom, that is pentavalent, right? Then calculated the hole densities, right? 600 to 900. Then what are the conclusions? Conclusion is important, right? In first case, only I think conclusion, the conclusions are except only 2 or 3 written correctly. Remaining all are, they did problem correct, but the conclusion point of view, okay, in first case, what happened here? The number of holes and number of electrons, the concentration of holes and concentration of electrons. Okay, I read the conclusion here. The hole density has dropped below the intrinsic level by 1 order of magnitude. Thus, if a voltage is applied across this piece of silicon, the resulting current consists of electrons. That is the first case. Because the concentration of electrons is more compared to the concentration of holes in first case. So that the current conduction is due to electrons. Okay. Now coming to the, this is from 4Q1D section. Right. Second conclusion is the hole density is more than the intrinsic level by 1 order of magnitude. Thus, if the voltage is applied across the piece of silicon, the resulting current consists of holes. But what is our main intention here? Problem, we are adding pentavalent impurities. While adding the pentavalent impurities, what happened actually? Okay, actually the concentration of majority carriers are electrons. Increase the number of electrons. But in this case, what happened means holes. The density of holes greater than the density of electrons. Now what happened means, in this case, now what happened means the semiconductor behaves like a p-type semiconductor. Why? Because holes are the majority carriers. Holes are the majority carriers. Now n-type actually it behaves like a p-type semiconductor, right? That is the main conclusion and main observation. Why it is happen means, okay, always whatever we add the, okay, just wait, I will share the document so that you can easily understand. Okay, observe here, this is the condition. Okay, this is about the, okay, this is the previous problem here. 10 power 16 phosphorate atoms are included in the silicon bar, so that the electrons increases. So number of electrons is equal to 10 power 16. And one more important observation in this background here, it is whatever you add the impurities, that should be greater than, okay, donor atoms. So let us formulate our result. In intrinsic semiconductor is doped with a density of donor atoms. D indicates the donor, N indicates the number of donor atoms, very much greater than Ni. This is important, right? Whatever we added the impurity atoms, number of atoms Nd, very much greater than intrinsic carrier concentration of holes or electrons. Then only we can calculate the P is equal to Ni square by Nd. Then you will get the P value is less than compared to the electrons. But in our problem, second case and third case, what happened means, observe the Ni. Ni value is greater than the Nd value, right? Not less than, right? Now here, what happened means Ni greater than Nd in second and third case. So that what happened means, the majority carriers are holes, not electrons. Okay, because this is not happen in practical applications. Only for problem point of view, I will discuss that one. Right? In second and third case, what happens means the type of semiconductors, it is not a N type, it is converted into P type semiconductor. Why? Because holes are the majority carriers. Electrons are the minority carriers. Okay, that is the problem. Right? That is about conclusion. Okay. Once again here, in second case and third case, holes are the majority carriers. In first case, electrons are the majority carrier. First case, it behaves like a N-type semiconductor. In second and third case, it behaves like a P-type semiconductor. Why? Because holes are the majority carriers. Okay. Okay, that is about the problem in previous problem, right? So far only, I think only 10 students are responded. And coming to the conclusion points of view, among 10, only 3 to 4 students are responded, right? Okay, whenever we try to solve the problem regarding semiconductors like that, mainly concentrate on the concept. What happens? What is the number of electron density at intrinsic level after calculation of what is the value, whether greater than or less than, what type of doping air you used, right? Like that, must mainly concentrate. Okay. Now today class, transport of carriers, right? In previous class, we added some impurity to the pure silicon so that the silicon becomes either it is a p-type silicon or it is become a n-type silicon. Now what happens if we apply some electric field to the p-type or n-type silicon bar? What happens? How the charge carriers are moved to one place to another place, right? Okay, carefully observe here. Okay, having studied the charge carriers and concept of doping, we are ready to examine the movement of charge in semiconductor. That is the mechanism leading to the flow of current. Okay. Movement of charge carriers. Okay, it is nothing but indirectly mechanism leading to the flow of current. Right. In semiconductor, the current flow taking place in two ways. One is due to the drift and second one is due to the diffusion. Today class we discuss drift current, right? Okay. Now we know from basic physics and Ohm's law that a material can conduct current in response to a potential difference and hence an electric field, right? When a current conduction taking place, suppose it is a conductor of I is equal to V by R. We apply some potential difference. Okay, then only a current flowing through a particular material. Okay, according to based on Ohm's law. Now observe here, there is a what is the difference? There is a small difference between the potential difference and electric field. Okay, that is explained in 4. What it is 4 indicates. Okay, this is come to recall that potential difference voltage is equal to the negative integral of electric field with respect to the distance. Okay, this is some basic intermediate level. Voltage VAB is equal to minus integral of A to B E into dx, where E is the electric field and V is the voltage. Right. Now the field accelerates the charge carriers in the material, forcing some to flow from one end to the another end. Movement of charge carriers due to an electric field is called a drift. Right. So this is the important definition. What is the definition here? Definition is movement of charge carriers due to an electric field is called a drift current. Okay. Again, in more detail, what is 5 here? Observe here. The convention for direction of current assume flow of positive charges from positive voltage to a negative voltage. Thus, if electron flow from a point A to B, the current is considered to have a direction from B to A. Okay, I think this is important point. Observe here. If electron flow from one direction, conventional current is opposite direction, right? Remember this one. Observe here. If electron flow from point A to point B, what is direction of electron flow? A to B. But conventional current, the current is considered to have a direction from B to A, right? This is only with respect to electrons only. Remember this one. If electrons flow from point A to point B, A to B, what is current flow? Opposite, that is B to A. Conventional current. This is called the conventional current. The current is considered to have a direction from B to A. Okay. Now observe here in this figure. Okay. This is some random. Like okay. Now go for another figure. Okay. Okay. Now this one. Okay. If we apply some electric field, this is the electric field direction. Electric field direction. Electron direction is always opposite to the electric field direction. Why? Because minus, right? It is a charge is negative charge. That's why always in opposite direction. If electron flow from this direction, what is conventional current direction? Conventional current direction is opposite direction. So that is conventional current direction is always Hol's direction. Remember simply, right? Here holes, what happen? Holes flows from this direction. That is left to the right, hole direction. What is electron direction? Right to the left. What about current due to electron direction? That is also from left to the right, right? Okay. Remember this one. What happened means holes direction from positive plate to negative plate. Electron direction is negative plate to positive plate. But what happened conventional current direction? Conventional current direction is same as holes direction. Remember this point, important point, right? The current due to electron, that is conventional current. That current is also same as holes current direction. Okay. Remember this one. Now coming to the okay, semiconductor behaves in a similar manner. Right here, observe the figure. The charge carriers are what happen inside the silicon bar of a charge. The charge carriers are accelerated by the field and accidentally collide with the atoms in the crystal. Okay, it is a silicon crystal. It consists of many number of atoms. What happens if we apply electric field? So the charge carriers are accelerated by the field and accidentally collide with the atoms in the crystal, eventually reaching the other end and flowing into the battery. Okay, these are all happen inside the crystal. Once again, what happened here? The charge carriers are accelerated by the field and accidentally collide with the atoms in the crystal, eventually reaching the other end and flowing into the battery. Okay, this arrows are indicate the conventional current direction. This is the conventional current direction or hole direction. Okay. What about electron direction? Electron direction is opposite. Electron direction is opposite. Right to left. Right. Now, the acceleration due to the electric field and the collision with the crystal counterpart leading to a constant velocity of the carriers. Okay, inside we are treating the constant velocity. The moment of charge carriers inside this piece of silicon is a constant velocity. We expect the velocity small v, that v is directly proportional to the electric field. Okay, now onwards there are some few basic equations. The electric field, okay, it is directly proportional to the applied Okay, here the velocity inside the velocity of charge carriers is directly proportional to the applied electric field. Now observe here, and hence directly proportional, that is equal to mu, where mu is called the mobility. Mobility and is usually expressed as centimeter square by volt second. Units for mobility are also important. What are the units here is centimeter square per volt second. For example, in silicon, okay, these values are the intrinsic values, not doped silicon. These are all the pure silicon. For example, the mobility of electrons mu n 1350 or 1350 centimeters square by volt second, and that of the mobility of holes 480 centimeter. Okay, compare here itself the mobility of electrons greater than the mobility of electrons. So that the people compared to the n-type and p-type semiconductor, the speed of charge carriers or the mobility of the charge carriers, n-type charge carrier, that is electrons are more compared to holes. Okay, now of course since the electron move in a direction opposite to the electric field, we must express the velocity as, what about the velocity? Here E suffix E represents the electron. Right? Velocity of electron is equal to minus mu1 into electric field. Why? Because electron movement always opposite to the field, electric field movement. Okay, coming to the other hole movement, what is the hole? Velocity of hole is equal to mu p into E, electric field. If the velocity and electric field are both are vectors, and same direction, velocity direction and electric field direction both are in same direction. Okay, remember here once again here the inside the velocity of a charge carrier is directly proportional to the electric field, that is equal to mobility. Okay, inside the mobility is only two charge carriers, one is electron and another one is holes. So that velocity is equal to mobility into electric field. So coming to the observation, electron mobility is greater than hole mobility. For intrinsic semiconductor, electron mu1 is equal to 1350, whereas hole only 480, approximately 2.8 times greater than the hole mobility. Now we are ready to derive the expression for drift current, right? Now consider for this one, this is the arrangement. This area applies some voltage, and this is the width, and this is the length of a semiconductor, width of a semiconductor, and height of a semiconductor. And this one is movement of v meters, right? What is the velocity? This is at t is equal to t1, and same thing, t is equal to t1 plus 1 second. After 1 second, the charge carrier is moved from one place to another place, right? Okay, now what happened here? Now here, if the velocity of carrier is known, how is the current calculated? Okay, we know the only velocity. Then from that velocity, we have to calculate the current. Okay, we first note that an electron carries a negative charge. Charge of an electron 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulombs. Equivalently, hole carries a positive charge of the same value. What is the hole charge? Hole charge also same, but the charge is positive charge. Don't write a minus 1.6. Right? Electron charge Q is equal to 1.6 negative charge. Coming to the hole, positive charge value is same 1.6 into 10 power minus 19 coulomb. Now suppose the voltage V1 is applied across a uniform semiconductor bar having a free electron density N. Assuming the electrons move with a velocity v meters per second, This is the velocity v meters per second, and assume that some electron density small m. Consider the cross section of the bar, semiconductor bar at x is equal to x1. So this is x1, and taking two snapshots at t is equal to t1 and t is equal to t1 plus 1 second. Okay. Observe here at t is equal to t1. Okay, this is x1 at point, and t is equal to t1 plus 1 second. Okay, this is moved to this side, right? So there is a momentum. So we know that the charge in a v meters pass the cross section in 1 second. In other words, the current, right? Then what is the current expression in terms of given all parameters means the current is equal to the total charge enclosed in a v meters of the bar length. Since the bar has width w, we have, right? I is equal to minus v w h into n into q, where vwh represents the value and n denote n and q denotes the charge density in coulombs, and here the negative sign accounts for the fact that electron carry a negative charge. Now again here let us reduce equation 2.13. What is 2.13? Velocity. Velocity small v is equal to mu n into capital E. To more convenient from, since for electrons v is equal to what is velocity minus mu n into E. Okay. And since w into h is the cross section area of the bar, we write. Now here small v is replaced with mu n into capital mu n into capital. Then remaining w into h is the unit area, cross sectional area. Now observe here left hand side, that is high. Now it is a j. What is j? J is equal to current density. What is current density? Here suppose I want to write it here. Now here the relation is capital I, sorry, capital J is equal to I, capital I by A. Remember this one. Where A is equal to area, that is equal to W into H, right? And A is equal to W into H. Okay, W into small h. N and Q are asterisks, where J suffix n, this is related to the electron. So where Jn is the denotes the current density, that is the current okay. Jn denotes the current density, that is the current passing through a unit cross section area, and is expressed per ampere per centimeter square. Right? This is the current density. Remember this. Okay. Now current in fact refer to a current density, and a negative or positive signs are taken into account. Now this is due to the electron. So what is the electron current density? Jn is equal to mu n into E into n into Q. What about a hole? What about hole current density? Suppose it is a n type, majority carriers are electrons. Okay, even though electrons are majority, current flow due to holes also. What about hole current density? That is equal to same way as Jn. What is Jp is equal to mu p into E into P into Q. Instead of mu n here mu p, electric field as it is. Here the charge electron density is small n. Here this is the hole density, and Q same as this. Now in presence of both electrons and holes, now the total current density J is equal to mu n into E into n into Q plus mu p into E into P into Q. and take common Q and remaining terms Vn n plus mu P into E. That is the drift current in semiconductor, right? Whether it is a p-type semiconductor, whether it is a n-type semiconductor, the current conduction taking place due to both electrons as well as holes. So that the current, drift current, why it is a plus means, okay, some textbooks written the negative, but the conventional current is always opposite to the electron flow. That's why it is a plus, right? Now here is a one small problem, right? If the problem is, in an experiment, it is desired to obtain equal electron and hole drift currents. How should be the carrier densities are chosen, right? Okay, this is some sample problem. What is the given is, we have to obtain equal electron and hole drift currents, right? That means what it indicates, Jn is equal to Jp, right? Observe here, Jn is equal to Jp. This is Jn expression and this is Jp expression. Okay, in that what are the common values are? Common values are E is common and Q is common, right? Electric field common, and charge is common. The remaining two are, what are the variables here? Mu n here it is a mu p. Here it is a density, electron density n. Here it is a hole density p, right? Now mu n is equal to mu p. So if you require a equal electron and hole drift current, the condition is mu n is equal to mu p. From that, simplify n by p is equal to mu p by mu n. And also we know that n into p is equal to ni square. From that we calculated p is equal to n is equal to, and these are for intrinsic, right? Mu n by mu p is equal to 2.8. From that p is equal to n is equal. Since p and n are the same order of ni, equal electron and hole drift current can occur only very lightly doped material. Okay, this thing happen only lightly doped material only. Now we given one exercise problem. What is exercise is, how should the carrier densities be chosen so that the electron drift current is twice the hole drift current, right? For that one you have to calculate P and N, right? Find out the carrier densities. What is meant by carrier? The carrier may be electron carrier densities, hole carrier densities, and such a way that what is the condition so that the electron drift current is twice, 2 times the hole drift current. Okay. So this is about a drift current, a derivation in semiconductor, whether it is a p-type or it is a n-type, right? Once again here, okay, here this is a derivation. We require in detail derivation, either you refer some other textbook. These some steps are skipped here, that is written directly. If you want to, okay, this one also enough, but I will write some other text, right? This is from some other textbook. Drift current and velocity in drift current is equal to minus mu n into E. Okay, this is due to electrons per volts plus mu p into E. Then what happen means here, when we apply a voltage, this is the electric field. Now this is the hole direction, this is the electron direction, but conventional current direction is same as hole direction only. So that what happened, total current is, one is due to holes, second one due to electrons. Electron current is same as all current. So that plus total current is equal to plus. And finally, we get a total current J is equal to Jp plus Jn. Why plus Jn means the conventional current direction is same as all direction. Okay. Okay, derived some IP current due to volts, that is equal to area into cross sectional area into charge into number of carriers into velocity. Then velocity, drift velocity is equal to mu p into v, and IP is converted into Jp, current density. Then finally, this is for whole. Jp is equal to Q into P into mu P into V. Same as previous textbook only. And again, In is equal to A into. Then total current density is equal to Jp plus Jn. Take common sum Q and E. P into mu P plus N into mu N. Now here from that again up to this one is ends with current density in semiconductor. Now further the above relation can be written as J is equal to sigma into E. The current density is equal to sigma into E, where sigma is the conductivity. This is the most popular expression. What this expression indicates that this is also Ohm's law, one type of Ohm's law. Current density J is equal to sigma into E. Now again from that J is equal to E by rho, where the conductivity rho is given as sigma is given as, this is conductivity. Observe here. This is sigma. What is sigma is equal to Q into P into mu P plus N into mu N. That is about the conductivity, except E. Then there is a relation between resistivity and conductivity. What is the relation? Conductivity sigma is equal to approximately equal to 1 by rho. Okay, now this one. Okay, this is the J is equal to and rho is equal to Ohm's law. Another way of written the Ohm's law. You must remember here, in addition to previous, what is previous book? Okay. In previous, up to this ends with a drift current, right? Due to both electrons and holes. In further, we go for second book. In second book, again based on Ohm's law, J is equal to sigma into E, where sigma is equal to conductivity. What is the conductivity? Conductivity is equal to Q into P into mu P plus N into mu N. That is the conductivity. Okay, E as it is. Electric field as it is. Now again from that simplify, this is the conductivity and the resistivity. Resistivity is equal to 1 by rho is equal to 1 by sigma conductivity. So from that, by using single expression, we can easily find one is total current density, or otherwise individual current densities Jn and Jp, then conductivity, total conductivity or individual conductivities, or total resistivity of a material. Total resistivity of a material. Okay, here also again one example problem. That problem based on the resistivity. Just simply given some values and substitute the given values in the formulas. What is rho? Resistivity is equal to 1 by conductivity. What is conductivity? Q is equal to P into something else. Right? Okay. So this is about today class. Today class, or otherwise we go for some what is Channakeshwar material is there. In that Channakeshwar material, okay, this is about the drift current derivation. Okay, if you want to go to in detail, like from beginning, what is the relation between charge and current? I is equal to Q to you know, right? Q is equal to I into T, you know. From that, current I is equal to number of charge carriers into Q by T. And the relation between time and velocity and length, you can take some silicon for length. From that is derivation. That is also one way. Anyhow, finally, and here it is the total current density should be plus, not minus, right? Okay. Okay, here the minus means electron, it considers the electron direction. But coming to the conversion current direction, that is opposite, so that total current density should be plus, right? Okay, either you go to the in a textbook, the main concept is the concept yes. So this is the standard textbook, right? So that the main drift current is the acceleration due to the field and collision with crystal contemplating constant velocity. This is not drift current. That is definition of drift. Okay, here it is the drift current. Okay. Movement of charge carriers due to an electric field is called the drift current. Remember this one, right? What is meant by drift current? The drift current is due to the electric field. Whenever we apply some voltage, then electric field is generated. Due to this electric field, movement of charge carriers taking place. Due to this current generated in the silicon bar, that current is called the drift current, right? Okay, and now time is 11:52, and this is about the drift current derivation. Tomorrow, a diffusion current. Tomorrow class, we will discuss diffusion current. Right? Okay, anything doubt, please comment on your WhatsApp group so that I will answer the questions. Right? And thank you for listening. Be safe, stay at home. Thank you. Now you may leave the class.